The skies over Earth were no longer blue. They glowed with green light from alien ships floating like giant metal whales above the cities. Streets were silent. People walked slowly, heads down, collars up. Soldiers of the Zinther Empire tall. Thin creatures with black armor and glowing red eyes stood on every corner. Earth had fallen. It had happened fast. In only 2 months, the Zinther had taken over the entire planet. Their mind-control devices called whispers were placed in every human home and street. Anyone who resisted was silenced, either by the whispers' control or by force. To the aliens, the war was over. Humanity had surrendered, but deep beneath the ocean floor, in an old research facility known only as Deep Core, a voice broke the silence. "Begin Phase 1, whispered Commander. Ilara, a woman with cold eyes and a mind sharp as steel. She stood in front of a large circular screen, where Earth's map blinked red. Her uniform was worn and faded, but her stance showed power. "Are you sure?" asked Dr. Kian, a thin man with round glasses and nervous fingers. "We don't even know if the satellites survived their sweep." "They did," she said. "We hid them in the shadows of the moon. Just like we planned, it's time." In the quiet dark of Deep Core, lights flickered on. Consoles that hadn't moved in years started humming. Hidden cables stretched across the walls like roots coming alive. Above the ocean, no one knew. The Zinther. Commanders believed Earth was broken. Inside their capital ship hovering over what was once, New York Commander Zalthur reviewed footage of humans kneeling, working in alien fields and cleaning alien boots. He was satisfied. "Primitive creatures," he hissed. "So easy to tame, their minds are soft like fog." Beside him, a junior officer named Vrek tilted his head. "One thing troubles me, sir. There are signals from under the oceans." Weak but repeating, Zalthur narrowed his glowing eyes. "Old technology maybe, fish echoes, nothing important." But it was important. Thousands of meters below, the resistance team activated Node 0, a secret signal point hidden inside. An old underwater drone. It was the first step to awakening Project Echo, Earth's last defense system. An AI so advanced, it had been hidden even from human governments. Echo had the power to control satellites, missiles, and data channels. But it had a price. It could never be used unless Earth had no hope left. Now, hope was a ghost. "Ilara," Kian said, sweating. "Echo's ignition is working, but slowly. It'll need 30 minutes to come online." "That's 30 minutes too long," she said. Above them, alarms blared inside the alien ship. "Commander," Vrek barked, "I'm detecting heat signatures deep underwater." "Not from animals, these are mechanical." Zalthur stood tall. "Prepare a gravity bomb, crush whatever they're hiding." In Deep Core, the walls shook. "They found us," Kian said. "Activate the shields," Ilara ordered. "We don't have shields." He snapped. A deep hum echoed through the structure. Then the ceiling lights exploded. "We're losing power." Someone yelled. Ilara didn't flinch. She pressed her finger against a metal tube near her neck. "Ilara to all sleeper cells. Go." Dark, Phase 2 now. Around the world, old phones buzzed. Radios crackled, forgotten subway tunnels lit up. Men and women who had lived as slaves for 2 months suddenly turned and vanished into shadows. At a garbage center in New Paris, a worker named Soren dropped his mop and ran toward the back room. "Soren, what are you doing?" A Zinther guard shouted. Soren smiled, waking up. He reached under a loose tile, pulled out a tiny black device, and pressed the button. A small spark, a loud boom. The whisper tower nearby exploded, its control field dropping instantly. Hundreds of humans suddenly gasped, their minds no longer numb. Some cried. Some screamed. The rebellion had begun. In orbit, Echo finally woke up. Its voice was calm and soft, like a human whisper. "Project Echo online. execute global override. From the moon's dark side, satellites spun into life. They weren't weapons. They were eyes that had seen everything and remembered everything. Echo used them to find all active alien frequencies, control points, and weak spots. But also found something else. Alara. Echo's voice came through a headset. A prison ship is orbiting near Mars. Human prisoners inside. Testing. Facility. Torture confirmed. Alara's hands curled into fists. Double quotes. Download the coordinates. We're freeing them next. Inside the alien mothership, chaos spread. Commander Zalthar, Vrek shouted. The humans are attacking towers in 25 cities. Control links are breaking. How? Zalthar roared. They were broken. No, sir. They were waiting. In deep core, Kian looked up as walls cracked above. Ilara, the ceiling. We're not going to make it. She looked at him calm. We already did. Just then, 3 small escape pods blasted out from a hidden launch tube. Inside the largest one, Echo's core memory chip was secured. Kian sat beside it, trembling. Alara stayed behind? He asked. The pilot, a former space cadet named Mira, nodded. She made her choice. Down below, Alara stood inside the burning command center. She spoke one last message into the radio. This is Commander Alara of the Human Resistance. You thought we gave up. You thought you controlled us. You were wrong. Then she pulled a lever. Deep core exploded, taking the enemy's gravity bomb. With it, the ocean swallowed the wreckage, and the sky above Earth began to change. Human-controlled satellites rained down like fire, smashing alien weapons and towers. Communication channels flooded with the truth. Humans never surrendered. They planned. They watched. And now, they rise. In one city, Azinthar. Officer tried to activate a whisper device, but his own soldiers were already turning on him. Infected by human emotion broadcasts sent by Echo. In another, a child hacked an alien drone using only a music player. The drone danced with her, then flew off to battle its creators. From the tunnels of old Moscow to the broken roads of Nairobi, people stood up. And fought. On the alien mothership, Vrek turned to Zalthar. Sir, we are surrounded. Their minds are not soft. They are sharp, wild, free. Zalthar's skin darkened in shame. We made a mistake. In orbit, Echo spoke into every human earpiece. Final phase. Deliver message. One by one, captured humans in alien labs turned to the cameras and spoke together. You may have our land, but not our spirit. This is our home. We are not yours to control. Then they vanished, rescued by hidden drones that blinked in and out of light. The message reached other galaxies. And in distant corners of space, other alien species watched Earth and grew afraid. Not because of Earth's weapons, but because humans didn't break. They adapted. They waited. They fought back. Commander Zartel stood in the center of the alien research lab, arms crossed behind his long back. Around him, glowing machines hummed. Transparent walls showed strange fluids flowing through tubes, and humans floating inside glass chambers unmoving. We've studied their muscles, said one alien scientist. We've mapped their DNA, but their minds, something is wrong. Zartel narrowed his eyes. Wrong? They look weak to me. The scientist tapped on a screen. Yes, Commander. But when we connect their minds to our thought link systems, the machines break. Zartel stepped closer to the glass. Inside, a human soldier floated, eyes closed, wires attached to his temples. What is this one's name? He asked. Subject 729, real name, Eric Kane, resistance fighter. Captured near old Siberian outpost. Good, Zartel hissed. Let's see what's inside his mind. The alien scientist pressed a button. The thought link screen lit up, showing colors and shapes, memories, ideas, fears. Suddenly, the screen flickered. Lines of alien code began to rearrange. "Wait," the scientist said. "Something's wrong." The lights blinked red. Machines beeped faster. On the main screen, human words began to appear. "Hello, who's watching me?" Zartel frowned. "Is that him?" The scientist stepped back. "It can't be. He's unconscious." Then more words appeared. "Nice try. Get out of my head." The screen turned black. Sparks flew. The chamber glass cracked. Inside the tube, Eric Kane opened his eyes. 2 levels below, another alien technician screamed as a neural reader exploded in his hands. Human thoughts were pouring into the ship's system, thoughts that couldn't be understood, measured or filtered. One tech said, "Their brains. They're fighting us, thinking back at us." Another shouted, "We built cages for simple minds, not this." Meanwhile, inside his glass chamber, Eric Kane smiled. The truth was, he had never been fully unconscious. From the moment the aliens had placed the thought link on his head, he had felt everything. He had seen their memories, their plans, their weakness. The Zinther believed in one mind, one order, one path. They couldn't handle chaos. They feared it. And humans were made of chaos. Eric took a deep breath and pushed. Thoughts flooded the network. His childhood, war memories, laughter, pain, songs, fire, hunger, rage. All at once. Above, alien scientists dropped to their knees, clutching their heads. Zartel shouted, "Shut it down! Shut it all down!" But it was too late. The human mind had touched the core of their network, and it had broken something. Back on Earth, in a quiet city square, Dr. Leela Monroe sat beside a broken fountain. She was supposed to be cleaning alien boots. A whisper drone hovered nearby, watching her every move, but in her earpiece, a new voice spoke. "Echo here. Eric Kane has entered the network. Zinther systems are shaking. Now is your chance." She reached under her boot and pulled out a tiny metal disc. One press. The whisper drone buzzed, paused, then fell out of the sky. Lila stood. Across the street, 2 more humans looked up. "Now?" one asked. She nodded. "Now, on the mothership." Alarms blared again. Zartel moved through dark smoke-filled halls as more machines sparked and failed. "Where is Subject 729 now?" he shouted. "He's escaped the chamber," an officer replied. "But worse, he left something behind in our system." "What?" The officer showed him a small shaking screen. It blinked with a single human phrase, repeating again and again, "You can't control what you don't understand." Eric Kane moved through the metal corridors silently. He had stolen a uniform, used the alien cameras against them, and mapped the ship from their own thoughts. Every guard he passed was confused, lost, scared. He whispered into a stolen device, "This is Eric Kane. I'm alive. And I'm inside." Across Earth, the message echoed through hidden radios, data lines, and broken phones. Resistance fighters everywhere heard his voice. It was the signal they had been waiting for. In a mining colony near the Sahara. Old rebel leader Marcus Red slammed his fist onto a control panel. "That's my boy," he said with a grin. "Let's light it up." He and his team launched underground missiles once buried and forgotten. In orbit, the alien satellites were caught off guard. Explosions filled the sky. Zartel stood before the alien council, trembling. "He entered our network. Our minds are damaged. Some of our soldiers are experiencing human emotions." The council gasped. "Impossible," one elder said. "They are infected?" "Yes," Zartel replied. "Some are crying. Others are laughing." "Then it has already begun," the elder said. "The collapse." In the mothership's lowest chamber, Eric reached the thought-link core. A glowing blue crystal floated in the air. This was the heart of their control, what allowed the aliens to link minds, to bend others. He placed his hand on it. Memories, millions of them, hit him at once. Alien history, war, slavery, pain, but beneath it all, fear. Zinther were never creators, only controllers. They had no art, no chaos, no soul. And Eric gave them something new. He gave them a dream, just one, a child running across a green field. On a sunny day. The system cracked. The entire network crashed. Aliens all across Earth screamed. Their control breaking. Humans everywhere rose, back on the ground. Lila watched as soldiers dropped their weapons, covering their heads. Some aliens dropped to their knees, sobbing, feeling. For the first time in their lives, she walked up to one. Now, you know, she said softly, what it means to be human. Inside the mothership, Eric turned to leave. As he walked down the corridor, he saw Zartel waiting. No more games. The alien growled. You never understood us, Eric replied. Zartel raised a weapon, but behind Eric, dozens of humans appeared, freed prisoners. They didn't speak. They just stared. Zartel hesitated. For the first time he felt fear. Eric took a step forward. We're not like you. We don't obey. We imagine. We remember. We fight. He reached for the weapon slowly, but Zartel lowered it. You're dangerous, he said. Eric nodded. No, we're free. The resistance took the ship. They sent it crashing into the sea, empty, burning, and defeated. The message was clear. You can put humans in chains, but you can't cage their minds. Not forever. In the cold silence of the Arctic, a snowstorm howled like a wild beast. Ice cracked beneath the weight of the wind. No animals stirred. No machines moved, but far beneath the frozen ground, hidden under layers of steel, concrete, and secret history, something waited. A blinking blue light pulsed once every 10 seconds. Waiting. And listening. Thousands of miles away, in a destroyed city in Eastern Europe, a group of human resistance fighters huddled inside a broken train tunnel. Commander Leela Monroe stood near a flickering map screen, powered by a dying battery. We've lost contact with the Asia cell, a young fighter said. Zinther patrols found their hideout. Leela clenched her fists. That's the fifth one this week. Another voice crackled through an old radio. This is Eric Kane. I made it out of the mothership. The network is weak, but we need more. We need echo. Everyone in the room froze. Echo? Someone whispered. But that's just a story, a myth. No, Leela said. It's real. I've seen the documents. It's buried in Ice Sector 7, and it's humanity's last trick. Years ago, before the alien invasion, Earth's greatest scientists created a program called Project Echo NOI. Unlike anything the world had seen, it wasn't made to fight wars. It was made to win wars before they even started. Echo could think faster than any human. It could learn, adapt, and command every weapon, drone, and satellite in Earth's arsenal. But it was too dangerous. Governments feared it. They shut it down, buried it deep, erased all files, but the resistance found traces of it. And now, it was the only hope. In a stolen alien dropship, Lila and two other fighters, Mayra and Soren, flew. Across the icy sky, the craft was barely holding together. Sparks jumped from the console. The fuel light blinked red. We'll be over the Arctic in 5 minutes, Mira said, gripping the controls. If we crash, no one will find us again. We're not crashing, Lila replied. Not until we wake Echo. Soren looked at the map. You think it's still alive down there? Leela's eyes were steady. I don't think. I know. The ship landed hard on an icy slope. The team stepped out into the snowstorm, fighting the wind with every step. Mira pointed toward a frozen hill covered in white. Echo's entrance should be under that ridge. They began digging. 10 minutes passed, then 20. Just as their hands went numb, Soren's shovel hit something hard metal. A door, frozen shut. Lila pulled out a small device, an old military chip with one function. Wake up Echo. She pressed it against the lock. There was silence. Then, A soft click. The door creaked open. Warm air escaped from below. Lights flickered on inside, chasing away the cold. They stepped in. And Echo woke up. "Identity confirmed," said a calm, human-like voice. "Welcome, Lila Monroe." Project Echo. Reactivated. The room came to life. Screens lit up. Drones unfolded from the walls. Holograms showed maps, ships, and enemy movements in real time. Myra whispered, "It's beautiful." Soren stared in shock. "It's still connected to everything." Lila stepped forward. "Echo, this is a global emergency. Earth is under alien occupation. Billions are enslaved. We need your help." Echo replied, "I understand. Preparing protocols. Downloading battlefield data. Done. What can you do?" Leela asked. Echo's tone didn't change. "Everything." Within minutes, old satellites hidden in deep orbit came online. Weather systems changed. Underground missile silos opened. Forgotten defense drones powered up across deserts, forests, oceans. But Echo wasn't done. It began rewriting human digital code-spreading messages, disrupting alien frequencies, and creating chaos in the enemy's network. Back in Alien HQ, Commander Zartel's screen began flashing. "Commander," an officer shouted. "Earth's satellites are moving. Old systems. Ones we didn't detect." Zartel's eyes narrowed. "Find the source." But it was too late. A broadcast appeared. On every alien and human device. It showed the Earth. Then a voice spoke. "This is Project Echo. You thought Earth was silent. You were wrong." Alien command centers exploded without warning. Data lines turned into fire. Drones once under Zinther control flipped mid-air and attacked their masters. On the ground, resistance fighters began hearing Echo in their radios. "Stand by targeting Whisper Towers. Launch in 3, 2, 1. Across the planet, alien control towers burst into flames. The mind control system shut down. Millions of humans woke up. One man dropped his shovel in a work camp and looked up at the stars. For the first time in months, a woman in a prison dome felt her fear disappear. People began running, not away, toward the fight. Inside Ice Sector 7, Echo showed the team a new feed. Eric Kane appeared on screen. He looked tired, wounded, but smiling. "I knew you'd wake it," he said. "We did," Lila replied. "And now the Zinther have no idea what's coming." Echo spoke again. "Warning. One Zinther mothership is powering a planetary weapon. Estimated time to fire, 2 hours." Lila's heart skipped. "What kind of weapon?" "Orbital pulse cannon. One shot could destroy half a continent. We need to shut it down." Soren frowned. "We can't even reach orbit. That's suicide." Echo replied calmly, "Correction, you can. I have unlocked a hidden launch system beneath this base. I can guide you." The team ran through long corridors until they reached a launch chamber. Inside was a sleek black jet, a last-generation space fighter, never before used. Mira's eyes lit up. "We're going to space." Lila climbed into the cockpit. "No, I am." They turned to her. "You can't go alone," Myra said. "I have to," Lila replied. "Echo's interface is wired into my ID. I'm the only one it can link to. In flight, you stay and protect the base. We're not done here." Minutes later, the jet screamed into the sky, cutting through the clouds like a blade. In orbit, Echo guided Lila straight toward the alien mothership. Inside, Zartel barked orders. "Shoot it down. Now." But the jet moved like a ghost dodging fire, twisting through enemy lines. Lila's voice echoed in every resistance radio. "This is for Earth." She fired. The mothership cracked in half, fire blooming like a flower in the dark sky. Back on the surface, Echo connected the whole world. Humans watched as the alien fleet began retreating, their systems broken, their minds confused, their fear real. The voice of Echo rang one last time. "They thought we forgot. They thought we were weak, but we remember. We adapt, and we never stop fighting. In the final hours of that day, human flags rose again over cities once lost. Families reunited. Fighters cried and laughed. Mira and Soren stood in the snow, watching the sky. "Do you think she made it?" he asked. "She did," Mira said. She had Echo. Somewhere in the stars, a signal played. Project Echo standing by, awaiting next command. Earth was free, but it was also ready. The alien skies above Earth were quiet. Too quiet. Zinther warships hovered in low orbit, watching cities like silent hawks. Their control towers stood tall, humming softly with energy. From the ground, they looked like gods watching from the stars. But something strange had started to happen. A few of their satellites had gone dark. Then, some of their patrol ships lost contact for hours. Commander Varlin, a cold and logical Zinther officer, watched a red hologram in his command ship. "We lost another orbital sensor above Sector 17. An officer reported. Varlin's voice was calm but sharp. "These malfunctions are increasing. Find the source. Earth must not rise again." Down below, in a secret mountain base near South America, human resistance teams stared at old screens showing blinking red lights, each one a satellite taken back from alien control. Inside the control room, Eric Kane stood beside Project Echo's main interface. "Echo," he said, "are we ready?" Echo's voice came through, smooth and clear. "Phase 4 confirmed. Sci-Fi operation is green. All converted satellites aligned. Weapons ready." Across the room, a young fighter named Timo stared at the map. "Wait, we're using our own satellites," Eric smiled. "Not just satellites. Space debris. Dead stations. Junk we left behind." Echo turned it all into weapons. Another fighter whispered, "We're throwing the sky at them." Eric nodded. "Let's see how gods bleed." In orbit, several Zinther ships drifted peacefully. They had scanned the area and found no threats. One captain turned to another. "Primitive species. They still use rockets," he sneered. Just then, one of the ships shook violently. Red lights flashed. An alarm screamed. What was that? A metal object the size of a truck, an old Earth satellite, now filled with explosives, had slammed into the hull at high speed. Another followed. Then 5 more. The sky lit up with fire. Back on Earth, crowds of people came out of hiding to look up. For the first time in months, they saw something beautiful. Alien ships. Falling, Lila Monroe, standing on a ruined rooftop. In Cairo, watched a burning cruiser crash into the desert. She spoke into her earpiece. "Eric, is this really happening?" Eric's voice came back, steady and full of fire. "It's happening. This is rebellion from the sky." Project O controlled everything above Earth, now using stolen alien data and old human tech. It launched kinetic rods long, metal poles dropped from orbit that hit alien bases with the power of nuclear bombs, but without radiation. Alien command towers were smashed flat. Energy fields collapsed. The Zinther screamed into their radios, begging for help, but space had turned against them. On the edge of the atmosphere, Varlin's ship tried to flee. "Retreat!" he shouted. "Return to high orbit. We must regroup." But Echo was waiting. A final wave of dead satellites, disguised as floating junk, suddenly came to life. They moved with perfect precision, forming a circle around the escaping ships. Each one charged with stored solar power, each one locked onto targets. And fired, one by one. Zinther's ships burst into flames. Varlin watched as his command screens went black. "We underestimated them," he said softly. "We didn't just invade a planet. We woke a monster." Then his ship vanished in fire. On Earth, the resistance rose in full. With the sky clear, human drones began dropping supplies into captured zones, people who once feared. The clouds now looked up with hope. From Brazil to Beijing, Humans who had been silent for months started fighting back. The whisper towers no longer worked. Alien communications were scrambled, and in the middle of it all, Project Echo whispered into every resistance radio, "This is your sky now. Take your world back." In a jungle base near Indonesia, a Zinther squad tried to retreat. But their ship wouldn't start. The systems were fried. A group of humans surrounded them. One of the aliens dropped his weapon and raised his hands. "I surrender," he said in broken English. A resistance fighter, barely 20 years old, looked him in the eyes. "No need," she said. "Just walk." The alien didn't understand. She pointed at the sky. "You lost when that fell." Eric Kane watched from a hidden hilltop as one last mothership exploded above the Pacific. Mira stood beside him. "We didn't think this would work." He nodded. "They controlled our skies for months. We just made them regret it." Soren walked up behind them. "What now?" Eric turned to Echo's console. "Now we show the galaxy something Earth never forgets. Freedom can fall, but it always gets back up." Echo added, "Next phase ready. Global transmission in 30 seconds." In every city, village, and ruin, humans looked at a screen. Eric appeared. "This is a message to all who can hear me. Earth is fighting back. Not just with weapons, but with heart, with memory, and with everything the Zinther thought they had erased." He paused. "They used the sky to crush us. Now we use it to rise." The camera pulled back, showing dozens of resistance fighters, dirty, tired, proud. "This is not the end. It's the start of something greater. Earth is free. And we remember who we are." The screen went dark. Then a final message flashed in bold white. "We are humanity. We never surrender. We just wait to strike." Commander Zalthur sat in the dim light of the alien warship's briefing room. The walls glowed with strange symbols. Around the table sat the highest officers of the Zinther Empire. Everyone looked tense. "The humans are stronger than we." "Imagine," said Vrek, the young officer who once doubted them. "Their satellites strike from orbit. Their resistance is everywhere. We are losing control." Zalthur's eyes narrowed. "We must find their weakness. They cannot be allowed to win." Suddenly, the door hissed open. A figure entered. It was Yarek. He was tall, lean, and walked with a calm confidence. His uniform was perfect, his manner polite. But there was something different about him. Vrek leaned forward. "Commander Yarek just returned from the surface. He brings news." Zalthur nodded. "Speak." Yarek smiled faintly. "The resistance on Earth is fractured. Their leaders are hiding in small groups. But they do not know we have spies within them." The room went quiet. Vrek asked, "Who?" Yarek's eyes flicked to each officer. "Someone they trust." On Earth, deep in a hidden cave in the Rocky Mountains, a small human team sat around a fire. Their faces were tired, dirty, but determined. Among them was a man named Jaden. He was a soldier, once captured by the Zinther and reprogrammed. But something had gone wrong. Jaden didn't feel like a machine. He still had his thoughts. His feelings. Or did he? That night, as the group rested, Jaden slipped away. He moved silently through the dark woods. His eyes glowed faintly. Back on the warship, Zalthur spoke to Vrek. "We believe there is a spy among the resistance." Vrek frowned. "How can you be sure?" "Because," Zalthur said slowly, "the humans are too organized for their strength. They have secret plans leaked before they happen. Someone is helping us." Jaden sat alone in the forest clearing. He pulled out a small device and pressed a button. A soft voice answered, "Report." "I am inside their camp," Jaden said. "They trust me. I hear their plans. The rebellion grows." The voice replied, "Good. Prepare for phase 2. Jaden looked up at the stars, his face unreadable. Inside the cave, the resistance leader, Marcus, noticed something strange. "Jaden, where have you been?" he asked. Jaden smiled. Just scouting, watching. Marcus didn't like it, but he said nothing. Days passed. Jaden continued feeding information to the ZYNTAR. First, the resistance suffered losses. Bases were destroyed before they could act. Supplies were captured. Morale fell. But something changed. One night during a raid, Jaden was captured by his own team. They tied him up. Why? Marcus asked. Are you one of them? Jaden's eyes burned. I'm what you made me. Who are you? Marcus pressed. Jaden looked away. I don't know. Meanwhile, back on the warship, Zolther grew impatient. Yarrick, send more. Forces to crush the resistance. They cannot survive without me. Yarrick's eyes gleamed. Commander, you are not the only one with secrets. Suddenly, the ship shook. Alarms screamed. A voice echoed through the halls. Breach in Sector 9. Intruders detected. Yarrick smiled. They came for me. In the cave, the resistance fighters prepared for an attack. Suddenly, the walls shook. Jaden's eyes glowed bright. He broke his bonds. The door exploded open. Humans and aliens fought in. The dark. Jaden stood between two Zinther soldiers. He whispered, You thought you controlled me, but I'm free. He threw a strange device. It exploded, releasing a wave of energy. The aliens screamed. When the smoke cleared, Jaden was gone. The resistance cheered. Marcus looked at the empty cave and said, Maybe the spy was never the enemy. On the warship, Zolther stared at the blinking lights. Yarrick. Report. There was silence. Then a message appeared. I am human. Zolther's eyes widened. He realized the truth. The greatest spy was not the enemy. He was one of them. Resistance had won the battle, but the war was far from over, and trust, once broken, was the hardest thing to repair. Commander Zolther paced inside the alien command center. His face was tight with worry. Around him, screens showed broken lines, blinking red lights, and confused soldiers. Reports say more of our troops are changing, said Vrek nervously. They feel fear, sadness, even joy. Zolther stopped. Feel what? Emotions are weakness. Our control depends on order. Vrek swallowed. It's happening anyway. Humans are infecting us. Their feelings are spreading. Zolther clenched. His fists. Find the source. Stop it before it spreads. On Earth, deep inside a ruined city, Lila Monroe watched a captured alien soldier sitting on the ground. His glowing eyes were filled with something new. Why do you look like that? She asked softly. The soldier blinked. I feel confused. Angry, sad. I do not understand. Lila smiled a little. You're feeling human emotions. It's not easy. But it's real. Meanwhile, in a Zinther prison camp, prisoners whispered among themselves. We are changing, one said. The control is slipping, a woman whispered back. The humans' minds are like fire. They burn and spread. In the alien capital, ship, Zolther's closest advisor approached. Commander, the infected soldiers refuse to obey. They cry, they laugh. They hesitate in battle, Zolther growled. This is madness. In a secret resistance base, Eric Kane sat beside Project Echo's console. Echo's voice filled the room. Human emotions are contagious. The more aliens feel, the weaker their control. Eric looked at Lila. This is our greatest weapon. Back. On the battlefield, a group of humans faced a Zinther squad. One alien soldier raised his weapon. Suddenly, he lowered it. He looked at the humans with wide eyes. I don't want to fight, he said. In the capital ship, Zolther watched helplessly. As more soldiers turned against orders, we're losing control, Vrek said quietly. Zolther slammed his fist on a console. We must end this. On Earth, Lila helped the captured alien soldiers stand. Maybe this is how the war ends, she said. Not with weapons, but with feelings. Suddenly, the alien soldier smiled faintly. Maybe. I am human now. The sun rose over a world changed forever. Cities were quiet, but beneath the silence, a storm was growing. Commander Eric Kane stood on a hill overlooking the rebel camp. Around him, thousands of humans gathered, soldiers, civilians, men, and women ready to fight for their home. "This is it," Eric said, voice steady. "The day we take back our planet." Beside him, Leela Monroe tightened her gloves. "The aliens won't expect this." A young fighter named Timo checked his weapons. Nervously, "Are we ready?" Eric smiled. "We've never been more ready." Far above, in the last Zinther command ship, Commander Zalthur stared at a screen showing the uprising. "They dare to rise," he muttered. "Send the fleet." But deep inside, a shadow of doubt grew. On the ground, the resistance moved silently. Through ruined streets. They were ghosts, shadows with purpose. Suddenly, alarms screamed. Zinther soldiers appeared. Weapons ready, a fierce battle began. Bullets flew. Explosions rocked buildings. Humans fought with everything they had. Guns, knives, even bare hands. In the heat of battle, a strange thing happened. Some Zinther soldiers dropped their weapons. They looked confused, lost. One dropped his rifle and whispered, "I don't want this war." Eric shouted, "Hold the line, we fight for freedom." Lila fought beside him, cutting down an enemy soldier. In the command ship, Zalthur watched helplessly. "Control is slipping," Vrek said. "The soldiers are turning." Zalthur clenched his teeth. "Then we fight to the end." Back on Earth, the uprising grew. More cities joined. In Paris, a crowd cheered as humans tore down alien flags. In Tokyo, resistance fighters reclaimed a base. Eric and Lila led a final charge. They reached the alien control tower. Inside, they fought the last guards. Eric faced Zalthur himself. "Your time is over," Eric said. Zalthur sneered. "You think you've won?" Eric smiled. "We've already won. Because you forgot one thing. Humanity never gives up." With one last push, Eric and Lila destroyed the tower's core. Lights flickered. The alien control systems collapsed. Outside, humans cheered. The sky was theirs again. Zalthur retreated, defeated but alive. The great uprising had begun, the end of the alien occupation. But the war was not over. Humanity was free. But ready. Ash floated through the air like gray snow. The sky, once filled with alien warships, was now open and quiet. Earth had been scarred, but it was still standing. In the ruins of the last alien control tower, Eric Kane stepped into the sunlight. His armor was cracked, his face bruised, but his eyes burned with purpose. Lila Monroe followed behind him, her boots crunching over broken glass. "Is it over?" she asked quietly. Eric looked up at the sky, now blue and wide. "For them," he said. "For us, it's just beginning." Across the world, people emerged from hiding, from underground bunkers, from burnt-out buildings. From the silence, cities that once obeyed Zinther law now echoed with human voices. Children laughed again in streets. Flags rose over rooftops. Fires burned in celebration, not destruction. The great uprising had ended. The alien fleet was gone. Earth was free. In the Arctic base, Project Echo remained awake, monitoring the skies. No alien ships detected, the AI reported. Atmosphere clear, human control restored. Mira, standing in the command center, turned to Eric through the video screen. "You did it," she said. "They're gone." Eric shook his head. "We did it. The whole planet did." In the last days of the war, something had changed inside the enemy. The Zinther were not just defeated, they were broken. Human emotions had spread through their network like fire through dry grass. Some alien soldiers had even joined the resistance. Others simply gave up. They couldn't understand hope, or sacrifice, or love, but humans lived by those things, and that made them unstoppable. In a forest camp near Berlin, young resistance fighters gathered around a fire. One boy, maybe 12, looked up at the stars. "Do you think they'll come back?" he asked. A woman beside him shook her head. "If they do, we'll be ready, but I don't think they will." "Why?" she smiled. "Because they learned the hard way." She raised her hand and pointed at the burning alien ship in the distance. This is our planet now." The next day, Eric Kane stood on a makeshift stage in what was left of New York City. Behind him, the Earth flag waved in the breeze. Crowds gathered from every corner of the world: soldiers, survivors, families who had lost everything. This war wasn't just about land or power, Eric began, his voice strong but calm. It was about identity, about who we are. He looked at the crowd. "We are humans. We are stubborn, messy, emotional. And that is our greatest strength." People nodded, eyes wet with tears. "We don't follow one mind. We fight, we bleed. We love, and when we fall, we get back up." A cheer erupted. Eric raised his hand. "This planet is ours again, and no one will ever take it from us." In space, far from Earth, a broken alien vessel floated in silence. Inside, Commander Zolther sat alone, staring at a cracked screen. He watched a recording of Eric's speech again and again. He didn't understand the words completely, but he felt them. He touched his chest where something strange had begun to grow, a feeling. Regret. On Earth, Layla walked through the streets of London. Flowers bloomed from broken cracks in the road. Children painted over old Zenther symbols. She smiled. It was ugly, damaged, loud, but it was human. And it was beautiful. At night, Eric sat beside a campfire outside what used to be Washington, D.C. MIRA. Timo and Soren joined him. "What happens now?" Soren asked. "We rebuild," Eric said. "And after that?" Eric looked at the stars. "We explore." The galaxy had seen Earth as a small, wild planet, easy to conquer, but now the galaxy would remember Earth for something else. The planet that refused to bow, the species that couldn't be broken, the world that rose from fire and claimed the sky. Because no matter what came next, this was our planet now. And always would be.